there are so many crazy big changes happening right now that it's hard to know where to begin. Hey there, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Katie. I am a foster adopted mom to 3 amazing kids, and I also am a foster care adoption consultant. And I help families from all over the country adopt from foster care and survive those early days. So I share a lot of adoption related content on this channel. Today will be a little bit of adoption stuff mixed in with just general life update information. So if you're an oldie but a goldie, and you've been around my channel for a while, you may remember that years ago, I used to do this thing called hot cocoa chats with Katie, or something like that, like hot chocolate chats, or it was something like that. And I thought about doing that today for this video, but I was like, it is way too hot to be drinking hot chocolate because it is summer, it is close to July. And so you're just gonna have to have the chat without the hot cocoa because I can't. But it's been quite a while since I've done just a chatty update video, so I thought it would be fun to just let you into what my life is like as an adoptive mom, what types of things are going on, and kind of show you like a little bit behind the scenes of what it's like for me being a foster care adoption consultant. So there are some big life changes happening, and I'm just gonna jump in. First of all, I think a lot of people know this who watch my channel, but some people may not. I was a teacher for 11 years, and I say was because I have officially left my teaching position. It's crazy. I went into teaching straight out of college, and I taught full-time for 9 years, and then the past 2 years of my teaching career have been part-time, where I was job sharing with another teacher. So what that meant is that I went in certain days of the week and she went in certain days of the week, and we both taught the same students. And let me tell you, job sharing was absolutely amazing. Obviously, it came with a pretty big pay cut because I was working half the time I was before. It made insurance more expensive, all of that. But there was a whole reason why I was doing this. Over 4 years ago, I started this YouTube channel, honestly, kind of on a whim. I thought it would be fun. I always thought I would share adoption content because I knew that was a big part of our story, and I knew it was hard to find information about that. So I really wanted to make videos, but I didn't think that would be like the sole focus of my channel. I just kind of was thinking, oh, I'll do some little vlogs and just fun things. Like I really didn't expect many people to watch it. In fact, we were watching one of my really old vlogs, like recently, my husband and I were, and I was so excited in that video because I had reached 100 subscribers. And it's so funny because I was genuinely so shocked that 100 people would be interested in watching my life or knowing anything about us.
So, Katie,
yes.
What was the very exciting thing that happened today?
Well, the very exciting thing was I got 100 subscribers on YouTube.
Woo!
It's exciting. I mean, I know, like, for a lot of people, it's not a lot of people, but for a lot of people, it's not a lot of people.
Right.
For me, it's a lot because when I started this channel, I thought I was kind of just doing it for myself, but I was also like, in reality, I was doing it because I wanted to help other people and like encourage them. And so if no one's watching your videos, you're not encouraging anyone, so there's not really a point to what you're doing. So even though it's for myself, it was for other people, and I'm just happy that people are watching and liking the videos, and yeah.
How did we celebrate this amazing milestone?
As we celebrate most things, we ate pizza.
But what I started to notice was that those adoption videos that I did make, like I made one about our adoption story of adopting our youngest from foster care, and then I made a couple others like just about like how to adopt from foster care. And those blew up and are still to this day some of the most popular videos on my channel. And I just got a lot of comments from you guys and feedback that you really enjoyed it and you didn't know that you could adopt a waiting child from foster care. And it just became this passion of mine to share as much information as I could about that topic. Because I know that I had researched adoption for years before we actually jumped into the process. And I had no idea that you could adopt kids who are already waiting for parents from foster care. I thought that you had to become a foster parent and you had to like bring multiple kids into your home and have them leave and come back and leave. And then maybe you would adopt someday. And I never really felt like the right thing to me. I either felt like I needed to just commit to doing foster care or adopt. And I found out that you could adopt. a waiting child from foster care. And so that's what we decided to pursue. So when I started posting videos about that, everyone just seemed like so interested. I got so many comments, so many questions. And so I just decided, okay, I'm going to make a ton of videos about adoption because there's this community of people who wants and needs this information. And so that is what I did. And the more content I made, the more positive feedback I got. And I just was really enjoying helping people. And what happened from that was I started to get like DMs all the time or emails a lot because I had like a blog I was doing at the time that I don't do anymore. I would get emails through there and people would ask me all of these questions, like they wanted to adopt and they didn't know if there was an agency around them that did it, or they'd ask me questions about it. And so I was super excited to be getting those messages because I wanted to help as many people as I could. So I would spend all this time answering people that I'd never met before online, helping them. And it got to the point where I really enjoyed it and I felt this responsibility to answer their questions, but at the same time, it was starting to kind of take away from my family because I'd be like on my phone over here trying to like answer people's questions instead of spending time with my own children because I was also a full-time teacher and there's just a lot going on. And so for about a year or more, I kind of played around with the idea in my head, like what if I started a business where I offered consultations and I actually was paid to do this work so that it could be part of my job and the way that I'm bringing income to support my family instead of just taking time away from my family. And I just wasn't sure how I felt about it. Like I definitely dealt with a lot of that imposter syndrome. And, I was fearful for a while starting, but I knew I needed to because it just continued. I continued to get more and more messages from people and was spending all this time replying because I wanted to be helpful. And so I knew I needed to actually start the business. So I did in June of 2022. So my business is a little over 2 years old now, which is really exciting. And that is why I decided to go part-time at work because I knew if I was part-time there, I would be able to use the other time to work on my business and to work on my YouTube channel. And so that was a huge blessing. I also was able, because of my business and everything, to be able to stay home with my youngest daughter, Brielle, her last year when she was just in preschool a couple days a week, which was something previously we couldn't make happen because my husband had been in grad school and then he wasn't making that much money. And so we were both needing to work. So I really enjoyed being able to have that time. And I've just been amazed at how God has grown this business over the past couple years, even in the midst of me overthinking everything and being like, well, I don't want to be this like salesy person, but at the same time, if I'm going to do this, like I need to be able to make an income from it because I can't do this and teach full time. Like it just would not be possible. And so here I am 2 years after I started and I have resigned from my teaching position. So I will no longer be a teacher. I am still directing some plays and musicals throughout the year. I'll be directing 3 shows because that's something I picked up this year and I just really enjoy it. So that is something I will also be doing on the side, kind of help supplement my income as I work on expanding my business and serving more people. Still to be able to have that little like consistent thing in the background is just like ease of mind to me. And it's honestly something I view as a volunteer role as well because I just love doing it. Like I love helping kids do all the theatrical art stuff. So anyway, long story short, I left my teaching job and this year I am going to be full-time in my business. I am so excited and so scared. I've had a really quite an uptick in the number of consultations I've had booked with different people. And so that's been super encouraging. I just feel like that's confirmation that I've made the right choice. And I am actually almost ready to launch something. And I thought I'd tell you about it now because I'm talking about my business, but I am launching a support community for people who are in the process of adopting from foster care or who have recently adopted from foster care. And in this support community, every month, it takes place on Facebook. We're gonna be getting video content about specific foster care adoption topics for the month, worksheets to help apply what you've learned, a community of different people to talk to and ask questions. I will be in the group answering questions, and we will do a monthly group coaching call. So you will be on a live call with me. The whole group will be there and we will talk through these things and kind of have like an opportunity for you to share and to ask questions and for us to all work together to help one another through this somewhat crazy process at times. I'm super excited about this, not only because I can serve more people, but also because the cost is so much lower for each individual person. When I'm doing one-on-one consultations, it takes a lot of time to be able to prep for that and to follow up with those people and to actually have the call itself. And so the cost is a little bit higher, like in order for me to actually run a business, because I'm paying for my website, I'm paying for my accounting, I'm paying for just so many different things. And I understand that that amount isn't something everyone can afford, and I fully respect that, which is why for a year now, basically, I've been like, I need to come up with a group where I can have people not pay nearly as much to be a part of it and still get this really good support. And so I'm super, super excited. If you are interested and you want to join the waitlist people can get even deeper discounts than my current listed price, which is $10 a month. If you sign up on that waitlist, you're going to receive a special offer during launch week. So click the link in the description box below to join that waitlist. But the whole page is there. You can read all about the group, everything that's included. I really hope you'll consider joining us because I think it's going to be amazing to have an online support community that's actually well moderated and not just like anybody and everybody's joining it and saying whatever they want like some of the other groups. So anyway, I hope to see you in there. Okay, that's enough about me. Let's talk about some situations with my kids that are changing. I know a lot of you are interested in adopting, and so you want to know kind of what is life like as a foster adoptive parent. So one thing that will be changing is that one of my children was going to school in the district where I was teaching, and so they can no longer attend school in that district because I am no longer going to be a teacher in that district, if that makes sense. Which is actually for the best because this specific kid has been struggling a lot in school, whether it's socially or academically. It just hasn't been a good fit for them. And so I'm really excited. We were already considering like potentially even homeschooling them. We were considering private school. We were considering all sorts of things. And we landed on, it's kind of like a STEM school, but basically there's small class sizes. They're not just sitting and listening in rows all day like a lot of schools are. It's a lot of interaction and a lot of interdisciplinary learning, which I think is amazing. And I think it will be such a good fit. We did a tour of the school and the students led the tour, and it was really cool to hear from them. And yeah, my kid, I'm not going to say which one, but my kid is really excited to go. And I think they're a little nervous as well because it's always nerve-wracking to start a new school, but I'm really excited. So I'm hoping that will be good. It'll be a good fit for them. I feel like at this point, just a change of environment is going to be good just in general. So we're really excited and hopeful. Another update regarding kids is that we've decided to take 2 of our kids back to therapy. So we've done therapy in the past, like I've done it, my husband's done it, my kids have done it, but we ended up taking a break for a little while. It was just that at that stage, my kids were not taking therapy very seriously. They didn't really want to be there. It didn't feel like their counselors were great. Like we're kind of limited in terms of what counselors actually accept their insurance. And we decided to go with a more closer option within our town. And the counselors would like switch up on us and we'd have a different one all of a sudden. And it was just like, it just wasn't a good scenario. And then one of my children moved to going to counseling with the same person I was going to. And that was okay, but I had a male counselor and it was just uncomfortable for them. They wanted a female counselor. And so we just took a break. And now they're ready to go back. I think it will be really good. I think with a couple more years of maturity under their belts, they're going to benefit from it more than they did before. I think they're more aware of the things that they want to talk through and they want to work through. And so I'm really hopeful. I'm not going to share much about that, but I just thought I'd let you know that as an adoptive family, we did take our kids to therapy. We took a break and we're going back now. And I think it's going to be a really good thing. So I'll keep you posted with what details I can without like revealing too much. I don't want to disrespect my kids' privacy, but I thought I'd just let you know that. And this is just a note. If you are going to adopt from foster care, please, 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 please arrange for therapy for your kids when they first move in, because that first year is so tough. But it'll help you, it'll help them if they're in therapy. I recommend you go to therapy too during that time. I wish if I could go back in time, I would be in therapy from day one because I really needed it. And I didn't know that I did until we were already in the thick of it. And so I really wish I had started earlier. So please, if you haven't adopted yet, just be aware of that. Look into like a cognitive behavioral therapist or a family therapist, someone who really understands that and can help your child work through some of these difficult emotions that come with transitioning into your home. Your child may be excited about being adopted, but they also will have things that they're really sad about. They're going to be upset that they had to move again. They're going to be upset that their biological parents weren't able to get things together and be there for them in the way that they deserved. And we have to be able to hold space for both of those. And I know for a lot of kids, they don't feel comfortable expressing that to their adoptive parents because they don't want to hurt their feelings because they do care about you, but like they need that space. And I honestly, when my kids go to therapy, I tell them, I'm like, you can talk about me all you want. I always tell my kids, like, that is your time. You can complain about me. You can talk about the things that you don't like about living with me. It's okay for you to share negative feelings there, and I will not be offended. I'm like, listen, I know I'm not perfect. I know that there are things that you probably liked more about other foster homes, or maybe you liked certain things about living with your bio parents more than you like about me and my personality. And I'm like, that's okay. I can deal with it. So feel free to talk to them and be open and honest. And they're like, I'm not going to complain about you. I was like, oh, I'm sure there's something. So definitely recommend getting therapy set up for your kids, maybe for yourself as well. And just, yeah, that's my little nugget of advice in the middle of me telling stories about other things. Sorry, the lighting keeps changing and my blue eyes are very sensitive to the light. So if you see me squinting, that is because I'm sitting in front of a window and the light is like changing like crazy right now. Another exciting thing that has happened is my husband, Nick, his job situation has changed in a good way. So for those of you who don't know, my husband is a pastor at a very small church nearby where we live. And for the past almost 3 years, he's been what's called a bivocational pastor. So that's where you're hired part-time at the church, and then the other part of the time you do some other sort of work. So previously he was teaching Spanish for a homeschool group, and in addition to his pastor role. So those are the two main things he was doing. And then we also co-own and run an Airbnb in our town. And so he cleans that and he takes care of it. And we both kind of communicate with people who stay there, but he's more in charge of it than I am. And so that's what he's done. And we're still going to be doing the Airbnb and everything, but he really was not loving teaching Spanish. It's just not where his heart is as much. He loves being a pastor and he loves reaching out to the community and getting to know the people in the church and pouring into them. It's just really cool to watch him do his work, because we were just talking the other day. It's like, how do we end up in this situation where both of us love what we're doing? Like, I love helping people with adoptions. When I do this work, time flies by. Like, I can spend hours working on something for you guys and it feels like no time at all. Whereas like with teaching, I had kind of gotten a little bit burnt out. I would be there, the days would feel like they went by so slow. And I love the students, but a lot of the stuff about being a teacher is just not the best. The school I was working at was also full of some pretty dramatic people. Just gonna throw that out there. So it was not the most enjoyable environment to be at, even though I was only there part-time. But yeah, now it's like, I absolutely love what I'm doing. Time flies by when I'm working on it. And it's a little scary to step out in my own business and do something that I'm not gonna make as much money from, I guarantee, as I did as a teacher even, at least not for quite a while. But I just love it. And it's so cool to watch Nick because he absolutely loves being a pastor. And I know that his heart has really always been to be doing ministry full time. And he brought it up to me like a couple months ago, was like, I don't know why, but I really feel like I'm supposed to ask the church about going full time. I have to realize he is the only staff member at the church, but it's a very, very small church. And so in my mind, I'm like, there's no way they're gonna go for that because I don't know that they have the budget. I'm not sure, but I just don't know that they really have the budget to hire you full time. And so we talked about it more and he's like, I don't know, I really feel like I should ask. And so I said, okay, like, well, what would you be asking in terms of salary? And he told me, and I was like, that's a pretty good deal for them. Like, you're not asking you're doubling your time, but you're not doubling your salary. And so he decided to bring it up, and the church just overwhelmingly was so supportive. Like, it was a unanimous vote as a yes to hire him on full time. And so starting in July, he's going to be full time at church as well. So it's just been like a complete answer to prayer, because even financially, like, what he will now be making plus what I make as a theater director will make up for my teacher salary. So at least for now, it's like we're at least staying kind of in the same zone. Not quite as much as I made, because I had insurance and stuff through them before. You know, it's a little different, but it's pretty good. Like, it's almost the exact number that we said he was going to need to make. And so that was super exciting. So I just feel like we're entering this era of loving our jobs, and I'm really excited. We've both, you know, there are things I loved about being a teacher and things I'll miss about it for sure. But I think it's cool that we're both entering this new era of like being in a job that just lights us up and is so fulfilling. And we get to be creative. Like, that's one of the things he loves about being a pastor of a really small church and being the only staff person. He gets to use his creativity when he comes up with different things. And it's just, I don't know, it's so cool. If you're married to someone and you watch them do something they truly love, it's just so cool to watch them do it. Okay, last but not least, this video is a little long. I tend to get too chatty in these chatty videos, which is why sometimes I'm like, I don't know if I should make one. So sorry if this is boring to you. Actually, let's face it, if this is boring to you, you'd probably already be gone. I'm sure quite a few people are already gone, and that's okay. You who are here, you're my people. So the last thing, and what I think is the most exciting thing, is that we are currently planning a very exciting family vacation. And I cannot say much more than that, because on the off chance that one of my children watches this video, I cannot let them know. So we are in the midst of planning a very, very exciting family trip and saving up for it and all these things. And so I will give more details as we get closer. I wish I could say more. Last summer was Nick and I's 10th wedding anniversary. We got married kind of young. So we went to France, which was something we've been dreaming of doing forever. We've been saving up for years and planning it for literally years. And so we went, and that was really fun. So we know we want our next like big trip to be a big trip with our kids. And oh, I wish I could tell you more. It's just going to be so amazing. But that'll be coming up in January of 2025. So super excited for that. I'll give you more details as it comes up, and I'm sure we'll be taking you along with us. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this very chatty video. I appreciate you so much for being here and making it all the way to the end. And so since you're still here, I'm gonna give you my super secret question so I know who the people are who make it all the way to the end of the video. Since it is summer, why don't you tell me your favorite summertime activity? Mine would have to be swimming in the pool. If you watched our vlog from last week, we swam in the pool a lot. So go ahead, tell me in the comments what's your favorite summertime activity, and then I'll know that you made it all the way to the end. And you can always throw in an adoption question you want answered. That always gives me great ideas for the videos I make so that I know they're relevant to you and that there's something that you actually want to see. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next week.